personal branding as you know it is dead. What worked in 2023 and 2024, like the educational carousel posts, the videos with the top 10 tips, and the LinkedIn cheesy authority building posts, it's all about to make you completely irrelevant in 2026. I'm watching a seismic shift happen across all industries right now. The personal brands who adapt these 5 trends will see their income skyrocket, while every other personal brand is sitting there struggling and wondering why their engagement is tanking. I've been analyzing what the top 1% of personal brands are doing differently, and I discovered something that nobody is talking about. While everyone is focusing on AI replacing content creators and personal brands alike, there is a silent revolution happening behind the scenes for personal brands. This shift is what's going to make some personal brands millions, while others are left in the dust. So in today's video, I'm going to show you the 5 trends that are actually working today, and why everything you've previously been taught about personal branding is leading you in the wrong direction. So let's get into it. All right, so welcome back to my channel. My name is Darren Peel, and if you're new here, the entire purpose of this channel is help you build and scale your personal brand. So if you're not already subscribed, please take a second to hit that subscribe button. So the reason I'm making this video today is because I've had a lot of conversations with clients heading into 2026, and I've realized that everything has changed. Personal branding as we knew it died in 2024. And if we're being honest, the game has completely changed. AI has flooded the market with educational content. And as a result, every platform's algorithm has shifted. And suddenly, the strategies that worked before to build a profitable personal brand are completely irrelevant in 2026. Today, I work with clients that are charging 25 to upwards of 50K for their programs. They have an audience that's a fraction of the size of what used to be needed. And they're making more money today while working less hours than they have ever in the past. And my own brand went from a scrappy educator trying to throw out quick tips to a premium branding consultant charging fees that I never thought were possible. Not because I got better at adding value, but because I completely rewired how I think about personal branding. So in today's video, I'm going to be walking you through the 5 shifts, or rather the 5 trends that I see working across the board heading into 2026. And make sure you stick around to the end of this video to see my favorite strategy for building trust in this trust recession AI era. Now let's get into the good stuff. All right, let's start off with trend number 1, the micro offers as brand builders. So this has been a trend that's actually been gaining popularity for the past few years. Because here's what's happening. While everyone is trying to build massive free audiences and then pitch them cold onto their high ticket offers, the smartest operators are actually doing the complete opposite. They're creating low ticket offers, often between 27 and 97, and they're using them as the primary vehicle for building authority and an audience. Now I know what you're thinking. Darren, how the heck am I supposed to build $1 million personal brand while selling $27 products? And that's the genius of this strategy. You're not actually trying to make money with these micro offers. You're using it to manufacture trust and authority at scale. So think about it like this. Alex Hormozi has this idea inside of his value ladder. But what most people miss within this value ladder is that bottom tier doesn't necessarily have to be something for free. It's supposed to be an irresistible low ticket offer. And what I found with these offers is they do 2 primary things. So first, they get people to identify as buyers, crossing the psychological barrier from just a free content consumer to an actual paying customer. And this is huge for a lot of my clients selling high ticket offers where all the freebies and lead magnets just attract tire kickers. And secondly, it positions you as somebody that creates transformational products and offers, not just some content creator that gives away free tips online. So here's what this actually looks like in practice. So instead of spending 6 months to create an audience of 50,000 followers who might eventually, but probably not, buy your program for $5,000, you create a $97 mini course that goes deep into your methodology. You run targeted ads to it. And now you have 500 people who actually paid and are interested and are invested in your methodology and getting the transformation that you sold them on. They're literally paying you to learn your framework. These individuals, they're pre-qualified. They trust you now more than they ever would have with your free content. And they've already demonstrated buying behavior. And this is simply a law of human nature. People value what they pay for. So while free content simply creates passive viewers and followers, or paid content, even at just $27, creates active participants who are bought in and see you differently. So the key here is not to see these mini offers as profit centers. The brands that are crushing it are seeing these as lead generation systems and authority building mechanisms. So while I can't go too much in depth on all of these different aspects, this could include things like paid webinars, mini events, masterclasses, or even just mini courses. So without making this be an hour-long masterclass on mini offers, what I've done is I've actually made a guide that goes along with this video. Inside this guide, I'll give you more examples of these mini offers, and I'll go a little deeper into how you can build this out for yourself. On top of that, I'll also give you a full breakdown of the remaining 4 trends for 2026. So click below to download the 2026 Personal Branding Roadmap. All right, now let's dive into trend number 2. So trend number 2, as well as trend number 3, are both huge shifts that I've observed within content. So trend number 2 is the shift from just educational content to belief shifting content. And this one's gonna mess with a lot of people, because we've been so conditioned to think that adding value just means more information or more education. This is something I'm guilty of myself. Heck, I even went and got my master's degree in nutrition, thinking more information was the answer. But here is the uncomfortable truth. In 2026, nobody needs more how-to content. They need their beliefs challenged. ChatGPT can now teach anyone how to do anything in 30 seconds. YouTube has 10,000 videos on every topic imaginable. If somebody wants to learn how to write better headlines or how to structure a sales call, the information is everywhere and it's free. But what AI can't do, and what most content creators can't do, is challenge the fundamental beliefs and assumptions that are keeping people stuck. Jordan Peterson talks about this extensively. He says people can't change because they learn new information. They change because their worldviews and their beliefs get disrupted. They encounter new ideas that forces them to question beliefs that they've had for years. And then suddenly, everything reorganizes. So let me give you a concrete example. So old content, it might look something like 5 steps to better email marketing, whereas new content would sound something more like why your email marketing is failing. You're solving the wrong problem. First one just teaches tactics, but the second one, it reframes the entire conversation. It says everything you think you know about this topic is wrong. And here's a completely different way to think about it. And if you haven't noticed, that's exactly what I'm doing in this video. And what I've seen is the personal brands that are winning right now, they're not just sharing more tutorials, more how-tos, more checklists. They're the ones that are saying provocative and contrarian thoughts. They're saying things that make people stop and think, wait, I've been thinking about this wrong this whole time, or I've been approaching this the wrong way. And that's exactly what I'm seeing in 2026. Personal brands aren't just focusing on how to teach, they're focusing more on how to shift perspectives. So I was trying to find some good examples for this, and I looked at people like Alex Hormozy, who's absolutely crushing it. I've honestly never seen him even talk about, here's how to set up and run Facebook ads, because that information is everywhere. That's one ChatGPT search away. But rather, he's saying things like, most businesses don't have a marketing problem. So when somebody's interested in Facebook ads, they're obviously trying to solve marketing problems. But then when you hear someone say, most businesses aren't struggling with marketing problems, that's where their ears perk up. He'll then go on to say things like, they're actually struggling with offer problems, or things like, the best marketing is a better product. You see how that shifts their focus or their belief on, I need to learn Facebook ads, I need to know how to set this up, to maybe I'm thinking about this completely wrong. And the key here is if you really want to be seen as an authority or as a thought leader, not just a content creator, then you have to be willing to challenge beliefs, not just share more information. And yes, this is riskier. Yes, you'll get some pushback. You may even get some people that just flat out don't like you. But take that as a sign that you're on the right path, because the ones who this message does resonate with will become true followers and ideally paying clients, all because you helped them see the world differently and shift their beliefs. All right, hey, if you're liking this video so far, please take a second to hit that like button. And if you're a personal brand serious about growing and scaling your brand, then I invite you to click on the link in the description and see if working with me and my team is right for you. We help overhaul your outdated branding, redo your website, your landing pages, and your funnels, and even help with marketing to scale you beyond that 7-figure mark. So if you're interested in working with me, I invite you to take a second, fill out the application, and see how we can help you. Let's get back into it. Trend number 3 is something I think anybody with Instagram, TikTok, or YouTube Reels can start to notice. Trend number 3 is micro documentary content. So here's what I've seen happening. People are getting absolutely exhausted with perfectly curated content, overly produced expert content. People today and in 2026, they're craving something real. And I've seen the brands that are winning are the ones that are creating this micro documentary style behind the scenes content. This is content designed to connect with audiences that shows the behind the scenes of the business or their lives from day to day. And this isn't just your generic, be more authentic content. This is strategic. That's because we're entering what's called the trust recession. AI content flooding platforms left and right. People don't know what's real, and they don't know what to trust. Anyone can type a prompt into ChatGPT, regurgitate that information, and claim that they're an expert, which actually ties into our last trend, but we'll get to that in a second. But micro documentary style content, it actually solves this. Instead of just talking to the camera saying, here's 5 tips to scale your business, or here's 5 tips to lose weight, you film a 60-second clip of you actually in a client strategy session, for example, solving a real problem, or showing how you think or how you got that result. You bring people in the room with you, show them the behind the scenes content, while also showing them how to get the results they're after. Whereas another example, instead of saying, here's how to hire people, instead of, for example, posting a carousel on 5 tips to hire people, film yourself conducting actual interviews, making hiring decisions, or dealing with the messy realities of building a team. And I've learned this is powerful for 2 reasons. First, is it's nearly impossible to fake with AI. So this is what people want to see. It's not just some AI generated tips. Second, is it creates emotional connection that educational reels and simple checklists never could. I had to do this myself. Think about the brands that you feel most connected with. I guarantee you it's not because of their educational talking head videos. It's because you feel like you know them and because you've seen glimpses of their life, their real world day-to-days. You've seen them struggle. You've seen them make real-time decisions. You know what they're working on and what they're doing. Or in other words, you've gotten a glimpse into who they actually are. I got a lot of this insight from The Laws of Human Nature by Robert Greene. He talks about the power of vulnerability and transparency when building influence. When people see real human beings with real transparency, their guard comes down. They stop seeing you as just another marketer or content creator trying to make a quick buck. They start seeing you as someone who they genuinely trust. And above all, one of the biggest shifts in 2026 with personal branding is that people don't trust just faceless brands anymore. They want to know who's behind the business. And I think this is fundamentally why personal branding is taking off. People want to know what you stand for, what do you believe, and what's your story, not just some manufactured LinkedIn post. And my clients that are absolutely crushing it, they're shifting away from just these straightforward educational talking head videos to doing a lot more behind the scenes content. Heck, my mentor is now making weekly vlogs. So these brands, they're not just trying to teach anymore. They're actually documenting their day-to-day. They're bringing people along the journey. And it's creating super fans and customers like content never could in the past. So if you're not showing the behind the scenes of your business, your thought process, or your real day-to-day interactions, you're leaving connection and therefore trust on the table. All right, on to trend number 4, and weirdly my favorite trend is what I call hyper niche ownership. And this might be one of the most counterintuitive trends. For years, advice has been find your niche, but honestly, to me, that advice is now outdated. Because in 2026, just finding your niche, it isn't enough. You need to own a hyper-specific niche. This niche needs to be so precise, it makes other marketers and brands feel uncomfortable. So here's what I actually mean by that. So instead of things just like fitness coach, I'm seeing the brands with the most success say things like strength training for female entrepreneurs over 40 who travel frequently. Or instead of just marketing consultant, it's email marketing for B2B SaaS companies, selling to CFOs in the manufacturing space. That's a hyper niche. I know what you're thinking. Darren, won't this limit my market? Won't I make less money? The answer is the exact opposite. The more specific your niche, the higher the prices you can charge and the stronger your brand loyalty. This is also a result of AI making all these fake experts. Now, when anyone can claim to be anything, people are now looking for real experts in real hyper-specific positions or specialties. We've all heard that riches are in the niches or niches, whatever the heck you say. But most people aren't willing to niche down enough to be effective. And that's exactly why this trend is now so effective. Because when you try to appeal to everyone, you end up mattering to no one. So think about this from a buyer's perspective. Again, with the flood of AI people, let's say for example, you're a fitness trainer. Now anyone on the internet can be a fitness trainer. So that competition is vast. But if you're a female entrepreneur over 40 who loves to travel, who are you gonna hire? The generic fitness coach for everyone, or the person who exclusively works with women who are exactly like you and has a program specifically designed for people in your shoes? And if you take this a step further, the generic coach has to compete with everyone and they have to compete on prices, and that's essentially a losing race. It's a race to the bottom. The hyper niche specialist not only has less competition, but they're also able to command 3 to 5 times the prices. Naval Ravikant has a great concept to explain this. He calls it specific knowledge. Knowledge that can't be taught and can only come from your unique background, your experience, and a combination of your expertise. And when you have a hyper niche, you're signaling that you have specific and irreplaceable knowledge and experience that only applies to that exact group of people. So here's what I'm seeing heading into 2026. Mass appeal is out, but clear positioning, clear taste, and clear values, that's in. All right, and moving on to our final trend of 2026. This is something I know we're all struggling with. We are now entering what I call the prove it culture. So yes, well, I've already said we're in a trust recession where anyone can now call themselves an expert. Anyone can regurgitate the latest ChatGPT responses. People can now create slick posts and ads with the click of a button. And what's even scarier is you can now generate videos with fake testimonials. So people have gotten smart and they've gotten skeptical for good reason. But as a powerful personal brand in 2026, you can actually use this to your advantage, because the audiences today, they're demanding real proof. Proof that you're legit, that you've gotten results, and that you can actually help them. This is the trend that will truly separate successful personal brands from all the fake experts out there. Because you can't just claim to be an expert anymore. You have to demonstrate it constantly. I get DMs daily from a bunch of 18-year-olds that are saying, I can help you add on an extra 20K in revenue this month. I've done it for 100 businesses. How the heck am I supposed to believe that? So here's what that actually looks like in practice now. You need powerful case studies, not just vague, I help my clients 10x their revenue. Anyone can say that. You need specific, detailed breakdowns of these case studies. Names, numbers, screenshot, video testimonials. The more receipts you can come with, the better. I think this is even going to expand to things like live demonstrations, actually doing the work publicly, which brings us back to the micro documentary style of content. So if you're a copywriter, write copy live. If you're a designer like me, redesign someone's brand on camera. And if you're a consultant, walk through your frameworks and your strategies live with clients, all in real time with real clients. This is all about transparency. And you can even be transparent with your own performance, your own results, because the more transparent you can be, the more trust you will build. And the best personal brands in 2026, they're the ones that are becoming proof machines. Every week, they're sharing new wins, new transformations, new results. And while this has always been important, the thing in 2026 is that this is only accelerating. As AI makes it easier to fake expertise, premium will be on people who can actually prove their expertise in their results. I even think in 2026, this is gonna go a step further, where we're gonna start to see a lot more trials or extended sales cycles where you actually put on demonstrations and pull back the curtain and show exactly what you're doing and how you're getting the results for people, just because your buyers are gonna need proof that you're actually legit. So if you're heading into 2026 and you're not absolutely obsessed with building proof, then you're gonna be left behind, because trust is gonna be the scarcest resource in this AI era. And proof is gonna be one of the few currencies that actually allows you to build trust. All right, and there you have it, 5 trends that are gonna separate the winners in 2026 from those who absolutely struggle to grow their personal brand. Hey, if you enjoyed this video, please take a second to hit that like button. It helps me out tremendously. And as a recap, we're seeing a massive shift towards micro offers as brand builders instead of just profit centers. We're moving away from educational content towards belief shifting content that actually challenges assumptions. We're seeing micro documentary content that's creating deeper emotional connection than traditional expert content ever could. We're seeing hyper niche positioning that's commanding premium prices and building fierce brand loyalty. And we're seeing a prove it culture that's making transparent demonstration of results a non-negotiable. The personal brands that adapt to these trends in 2026 are the ones that are gonna survive and the ones that are gonna thrive. So here's my challenge to you. Pick one of these trends and implement it this week. Don't wait, don't overthink it, just start. Make sure you check out this video next, where I'll teach you exactly how to position yourself as a premium personal brand. You don't wanna miss it.